Hi everyone, hope you all are doing really well and preparing really well. So while preparing, I think uh, resume and the cover letters are the very important thing, which is I think each one of you should be knowing nowadays. I think when I was starting when I had a resume of 2 and 2.5 page, but now I think we have to shorten our resume and make it very precise resume. Shorten down all your experiences into 1.5 page or maybe max to 1 page. Yeah, if it is like if it is like lot more experience you have, it is like 1.5, it's fine, but you have to cut down everything and write down in a way that it should be short and precise. So what all points you should cover, and I also got a lot of resumes where I like lot of mistakes has been there, and in the resume there are and it's very lengthy also. So what happens is when your resume is lengthy, the key points might get dispersed into a lot of words has been used and a lot of things has been used. So that's where you have to extract those very important points which you want the interviewer to see it and put it on the resume of 1 page, so that each and everything should be communicated well to the interviewer. So then now start with, to create a strong resume, there is a brief informative summaries of your abilities, educations, experience, and should be highlight your strong asset and the skills relevant to the job for which you are applying and differentiate you from the other candidates seeking similar positions. So you have to put in your experience in such a way so that it is like a key and the highlight point in your resume. But that doesn't mean that you have to bold it or you have to highlight it in such a way. No, you shouldn't have to do that. That bold character is sometimes looking very messy or shows very unprofessional at times. So you make sure the font and everything should be into the same fashion. Everything is formatted well. Everything should be in the same fashion as been, like if your heading is of, like you are putting bold headings, it's fine, you can put some bold headings or some different Arial or fonts and text, it's fine for the heading. So every heading should be have the same format, whereas when you're putting the descriptions under those headings, whatever details you are putting under the heading, it should be of same format. Sorry. Although it alone will not get your job or internship, a good resume is an important element towards obtaining an interview. So before going for an interview, your first step will be your resume, right? Your resume will be everything. So your first impression will not be your interview and your appearance or anything. Your first impression will be your resume. So it's not like you are giving interview will be the second process, and afterwards your resume selection is very much. I'll give you some tips also, but maybe in the mid of the videos, or how your resume gets shortlisted and what strategy you can use so that your resume gets shortlisted. Until unless you are like really pro into it, but I'll help you out how to you get call in Naukris and everything. But you have to stay tuned in the video. So yeah. So tailor your resume to the type of positions you are seeking. This does not mean that all your experiences must relate directly, but your resume should reflect the kind of skills the employer would value. Okay, so for example, I am getting, like I have asked for the testing automation profile, but many of freshers has been sent it to me. But like the testing automation profile will be mostly for the experienced people, and it is for mostly experience in testing. So I think that is something that is very irrelevant for the position. So those who are referring you, or you're getting referral and having an hope, there's no hope of getting call, because if the position is for the experienced people, so make sure you check the experiences, and which is like in the JD has been mentioned, like how many years. If you have the relevant experience, like for example, it is asking for 7.5, but you have a 6 years of experience, you can still go for it. Like, okay, fine, 7.5 and 6 years, quite, like for example, for a freshers, if it is asking for 4 years and you have an experience of 3 years, then still you can go for applying for the position, because 3 or 4 years maximum having the same experience. And if it is still asking for 5 years, then you really need to have 3.5 years of experience. Like 1 year or 1.5 years gap is sufficient if your experience difference is this, which has been asked in the JD, but your differences of 1.5 years is still quite manageable. You still get you hope for a call, you can still get a call, but your skill should match with the skill has been asked in the JD. So the resume tips, like what exactly you should have it in your resume. Now we have to make it precise, we have to make it short. So what resume tips we need to keep in mind? Now everyone start making the resume. If you haven't have it, if you have it for 2.5 pages, then you really need to shorten down and make it really precise, which can be helpful to get you the shortlisted, because there are n number of resumes. So if your resume is short, I think HR will read it fast, or take it, okay, it's small one, I'll read this one rather than reading of 3 pages or 4 pages of resume. And if that time, if your skills matches with the JD, then you will shortlist. Then the HR work is also less, right? For example, he or she wanted to shortlist 5 resumes, and they have 15 resumes. So in that 15, they have 5 resumes which is shortened, okay? And then luckily those shortened resume, like the short resumes or the precise resume, have those skills which they are looking for. So think for one, or for a number of openings, one, and there are 15 resume. I'm just giving a rough example, but there are more than 15. And let's say 5 resume are the shorter, they just read those 5, they'll just see all those resume which are length of 1 page or 1.5 page. They read it, and if the skill matches, they'll just have that 5, they'll keep that 10 remain until those 5 candidates will go through the interview, and if they selected or whatever is happening. So that's how it is happening. So mainly that 5 people out of those 15, out of only 5 people will get the opportunity to go through actually. So this is how basically happens. And think about, they have 50 resume, and then they have 10 resumes which is short and precise and matching the skills. So it's good done. Every human wants the less work. Nobody wants to do a hell lot of work, okay? So just giving you the real-time scenario, this is what happens. So resume language should be specific rather than general, active rather than passive. Yeah, ghuma fira ke it's not good. So you write the active voice rather than rotate it and write it. No. So written to express, not to impress. You have to express yourself. You don't have to write that person should impress. You have put in the skills which you don't know. So don't do that. Articulate rather than flowery. Fact based, quantity not qualify. Like you don't have to quantify, not qualify. You don't have to put a lot of skills over there, which is not at all required. Written for people who scan quickly. Okay, right, for the people that who can just scan quickly, because interviewer are like that. They I know people, I know my friends who are just taking, like in a month they are taking 200 interviews. So they are reading 200 minds, they are reading 200 people interviews. They're taking 200, like maybe out of 200, no, they're taking 200 interviews, and let's see, they have filtered out 400 or 500 resumes afterwards. So think about that person, how expert that person is. So that's how it happens actually into the IT world. So don't think that the person cannot scan. So think in a fashion the person can scan your skills fastly. They also know that whatever you have put in it, what after your interview like started, like after 5-10 minutes, they will get to know how much you know. Okay, so you have to be, that's why I'm saying articulate rather than flowery. Okay. Okay, top 5 resume mistakes we generally do it: spelling and grammar errors, missing emails and the phone information. So make sure, this is most important thing, that your email or your phone number should be correct. So one of my friend doesn't get the call because her number is never reachable. So you have to buy a good SIM wherever you stay, because in Bangalore most of the time when we stay in PG, we don't get network, and most of the call comes at that time only. So get yourself a good SIM, wherein maybe Jio or Airtel, which works for you, which works in your area, maybe whatever it is, but it should work in your area, in your PG. So have 2 SIMs probably. You can add both the contact numbers over there. Okay, this is not, but make sure the number you are mentioning, it should be reachable at any area wherever you lived in. So she never gets a call, and I always get a call because I have a good SIM. So she never gets a call. She gets a call only in the office time, but when she is out, but her number is not reachable into the PG where she stayed. Mostly, sometimes we get a call on Saturday, Sundays also. So if you're into the PG and you're staying into some corner room, you won't get a call, right? So get, and make sure in your PG also you'll get a good room wherein you'll get a network in your phone. So it's okay you're doing voice call, you use them. Most of the time we don't, it doesn't affect us mostly because we use internet callings, but no, HR will always call you in your number. They won't call you like from the internet, right? They call you from your network supporting network supplier SIM. So make sure you have a good network and you put correct email using passive language instead of action words. So you have to use, you don't have to like ghuma fira ke, you don't have to write it, you don't have to like I have this and that, I have done this, work has been done by me. No, I have done this work, that is fine. Not well organized, concise, and easy to skim. So it's not well organized also. Like when I say that it's bold and this is quite looking messy into the eyes and don't want to read it actually. When I get the resume which has have a lot of highlights, a lot of bold and mismatched format, I don't want to read the resume, to be very honest. I quickly go and tell to people that please remove bold, format it, make it good way, and then give it to me. So there was a time when I was also there, when I was also in your place also. I'm just telling you, when I was a fresher, I did it. I have given my resume to the best person ever. So we of the same technology, but he has done some MS from some Boston degree, or like Boston University or something, and then he was pro in resume. So what happens is I have a 2.5 page of resume. At that time it was 2.5 when I was a fresher, and then he took a red pen and my entire resume is of red color, to be very honest. And then he taught me everything, and that makes me I felt bad in the initial. Nobody likes this thing. No, like people point out your mistake in such a way that it's like completely red. It was twice he did that. Like I'm again make the correction, then again he checked it. Like he put the red marks, red pen, everything he has done it, and then again. But I think that was really helped me at this point. Right now, I'm really helpful and grateful for having such a great friend of mine. And then he helped me out to build my resume so efficiently that whenever I'll put it, I'll get a call from the interview. So impressive interview. So an impressive resume that helped me out doing it. So it's nothing rocket science. You just have to format it. Formatting is the key. uh, Not tailor to the position or the industries, to not tailor to the position, like whatever you're putting, it's not tailored. So you have to see the JD also. That was a tip I'm saying, that you just see the JD. Okay, whatever the skills is, keep on asking. For example, they're asking Java testing, or maybe they're asking some of the tools, and that has been repeated in the JD. Okay, sometimes it is being repeated. Okay, when you need CI/CD, you see in your JD there are a lot of times CI/CD is mentioned. So that means CI/CD or Jenkins is mentioned, or any of the tool which has been mentioned again and again. That means that skills is very mandatory. So if you know that skill, then go for it. If you don't know, also learn it and go for it. Okay, there is two ways. So then you will know that what all questions, like maximum from which area will be coming. If they're asking more, they are emphasizing in the JD more of Java, then definitely there will be a lot of questions on Java. And if they're emphasizing more on Selenium or the APIs, then there will be more questions on API in the Selenium. But Java will always be there, but you know the detail and the depth of it based on the JD. So you have to see the JD and all the terms like tools and should be there in your resume. If you don't know, learn it and put it on into the resume. Okay, and also you can get from the JDs, read as many JDs as possible. Go ahead and check out the in the career pages, see what all JDs are there into the big companies, what all tools they are working on, and make a list of it. And these are the tools which I don't, which I know, which I don't know. Make a list of which you know, which you don't know, which you are expertise in, which you don't have it, which you have hands on in, what you theory knowledge you have it. Make a list of, make a column and put those tools over there. Okay, this is a pro tip which I was talking about that I'm gonna give you. The make a list, go search out at least 5 good product based companies, or maybe service based company, also combinations of those, maybe 3 service based, 2 product based companies. And then check out the go check out in the career page if they have their opening for the testing automation profile or a software testing profile, what your experience is. And mainly nowadays automation. So see, like if it is 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years. So if you're 3 years, check it for 5 years. If you're 5 years, check it for 7 years or 8 years. So 7 years max. Then make a list of it, columns, like you have expertise on, you have hands on, you have theory, and what all you don't know also, and how much you know. So the tools you mention over there, and then you have a list now, and you know where you are right now. Okay, so if you're looking for this organization, okay, so then you will get to know, okay, in the service based area, service based organization, what all skill has been asked. So how much I know, how much hands on I have it, how much practice I know, how much And like first of all, you should have the experience. In theory you will learn it, and with your experience you will, yeah, like theory will be 2 days thing. It's not one day thing, or it's not 5 days thing. Only experience, like if you have experience on those things, you go ahead and with the theories and theoretical knowledge, and you just read out all the question and answer, just go through with them. Then if you only know theory, then you really have to work on, download that tool and start working on that, do some random projects. Maybe you can automate anything. If you're working on e-commerce, you automate Amazon, anything you can do it. Okay, so that's how you can do it, practice it, and that column thing will really let you know where you are right now, and where which area you really need to work out, and that you only figure it out for yourself. Nobody can do it for you. Now, don't use personal pronouns such as I. Abbreviate like brief summary of something. Don't have to write that brief summary of something. Okay. Use a narrative style, number or letter categories. Use a slang or colloquialism. Include a picture. Include age or sex. List references. Start each line with a date. No, you don't have to do all those things. Do now what you have to do it. Be consistent in format and content, which I'm saying it every time. Make it easy to read and follow, balancing white spaces. You shouldn't have the white spaces, so space should be consistent across your resume. Use consistent spacing, bold and capitalization for emphasis. So wherever you are doing it, okay, so you have to have the same thing, but I don't prefer, but only in the heading. If you're doing bold capitalization, for every heading you need to do that. List headings such as experience in order of importance. With headings, list information in reverse chronological order, most recent first. Avoid information gaps such as missing summer. Okay, be sure that your formatting translated properly if covered to the if converted to the .pdf. Okay, like if you're converting your resume, check your resume like formatting is proper or not. The action works for your resume, what you can use it. So leadership, communications, research, teaching, technical, quantitative. So I think when you're saying also, when you're talking also, okay, you need to use some kind of words. Like when you're talking about your leadership, you can use accomplished, achieved, administered, analyzed, assigned, attained. I think these kind of words, you just take a snap of it and you can use it. In communication also, you can say addressed, developed, influenced, presented, suggested, synthesizes, translated, verbalized, wrote, like that. Research, clarified, collected, concluded, constructed, okay, determined. These kind of words you can use it in your resume also, and while talking also, when you're explaining some of the things, you can use these kind of words. Technical, assemble, build, calculated, computed. These kind of we use it actually in our day-to-day, not everything, but we use some of them. Teaching, adapted, advised, clarified, coached. Okay, when you ask about quantitative, then administered, allocated, that has been allocated to me, then I have worked it, I've planned in such a way, like that we talk about it. Okay, it has been projected in such a way, like that. Creative, like when you talk about some creative things, and you can use customize, design, develop. Okay, invented, originated, performed, planned, published. These kind of words you can use. Helping, I assisted. Okay, I coached it, demonstrated it, diagnosed it, educated it. Okay, organizational, approved. When you're talking about organizational thing, then it will be like centralized, defined, control, compel, gathered. I gathered the information, like that. The words you have to use it, because those kind of words, when you talk to business, I think you when you are really experiences, and when you have day-to-day conversation with the business and the stakeholders, this kind of one has been regulated around, so you're adapted to this kind of language of words being used in your sentences. Write an effective cover letter. So cover letter also we write it when you're sending a resume. So your cover letter is a writing sample and a part of a screening process by putting your best foot forward. So cover letter is again the first impression of it before your resume. You can increase your chances of being interviewed. A good way to create a response producing cover letter is to highlight your skills or experiences that are most applicable to the job or industries, and to tailor the letter to a specific organization you are applying to. So I'll give you the example, or maybe some of the examples we have it. So some general rules about letters. Address your letters to a specific person if you can. Like when you get a mail from the HRs also in your mail, right? You can address that person in your cover letter. Tailor your letters to specific situations or organizations by doing research before writing your letters. Keep letter concise, factual, no more than single page. Avoid flowery language. Give example that supports your skills and qualifications. Put yourself in the reader's shoes, and what you write that will convince the reader that you are ready and able to do the job. Don't overuse the pronouns. Don't overuse I most of the time. Remember that this is marketing tool. Use a lot of action words. Have an OCS advisor provide feedback when possible. If converting to PDF, check that your formatting translated correctly. Reference skills or experiences from the job descriptions and draw connections to your credentials. Make sure your resume and cover letters are prepared with the same font type and size. So now resume, sample or cover letters. So this is a surprise for you guys. Okay. Now, okay, this is the cover letter. So I'm just reading it out. You just take a snap of it, or don't you do it. It shouldn't be have to be that big, but is this for a general purpose? So you can extract some of the information, put it in your cover letter. So I'm writing to apply for a position in a wine wholesale as advised as a Crimson Carrier. So this is exciting opportunities appear to a wonderful fit with my professional experience, personal interests, and the career goals. I'm returning to Boston to complete my final year at Harvard University Extension Schools, where I'm majoring in French and economics. Having spent the year working and traveling, I'm eager to incorporate myself once again into the local wine community, to which I can bring experience in a number of sectors of the industries. Through 8 years in the restaurant field, I have acquired a deep love and appreciation for wine and cuisine. I have been known to wax rhapsodic over specials. Nothing made me happier than discussing a bottle with a table. The enthusiasm allowed me to introduce a list of reverse selections to shape pubs and wine bar. The result was an appreciable increase in sales for the restaurant and repeat attendance by customer. My position at Aspen's award-winning Motanga allowed me to expand upon our knowledge of wine, locally inspired cuisine, and the highest standard of service. Our weekly blind tasting fueled my desire to further myself in this field, and I'm in the process of acquiring certifications through both the Code of Master Sommeliers and the Wine Spirit and Education Trust. So if you're applying for any of the certifications and you do have the certifications for the relevant skin, you can mention. So this is again the 8 years experience. That's the reason he has some content to put it. So if you have a 1 or 2 years or 3 years experience, you don't have to put it. If whatever certifications you have, do it. Whatever you have done, some little bit of work, you put it over there. Even 2-3 lines will be fine. Most recently, I have written from France, where I was lucky enough to work on an organic vineyard in. If you have 2-3 companies also, you can put like one company in one paragraph, another company experience in the second paragraph. Biogenesis, I wrote working with a young dynamic Vigerin who run the estate to draw upon the experiences. Who run the estate, the largest of its kind in the region. A position your wholesale wine company would allow me to draw upon this experience and to facilitate the success of such producers. Additionally, it would enable me to replicate the most enjoyable components of my experience overall. Working with my colleagues in the local restaurant industries as well as with the distinct in iconoclastic wine makers. I am really available via mail or phone in order to arrange an interview, and have attached my resume below for you as per your request. Please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. I'd appreciate your consideration and look forward to hearing from you. Like that you can mention.